Everybody, I'm Tasha with the Major Change Group, and recently we've been hearing a lot of news in regards to credit card delinquencies with late payments are on the rise, and credit card debt is on the rise as well. And when we take a look at that, how that's going to impact our credit score is with our payment history and our credit card utilization. And I've been talking a lot about credit card utilization, but in this video, I really wanted to talk more about how each of these can impact our overall credit score. Let's get into it. But before we do, go over to Water Your Soul's channel. He did a great video yesterday talking about credit card debt, because he's always giving us the credit card news. I did a poll on my community tab asking what was the most important aspects of our credit score, and 70% of people said payment history and 23% said credit utilization. So I was kind of surprised with that. But let me know in the comments, which do you think is most important, our payment history or our credit utilization? Now, when we take a look at our overall credit score, so 65% of our score is made up of our payment history and our credit utilization. And then 15% is our length of credit, 10% is our new credit, and then 10% is our credit mix. And I love to go over to the experience so that I can get my score ingredient, because it's going to break down our individual credit profile. And so it's going to let us know, are you good, fair, or exceptional? Now, when I think of our credit score, on the one hand, I think we have to take a look at it as to what are you going to be doing with your credit report? And that's really going to determine which aspect is more important. Because if you are going to be going to get a house, an apartment, a new car, or something like that, they're going to be looking at your payment history. But then if you're going to be trying to get those high credit card limits, and if you're going to be applying for new credit, they are going to be taking a look at your credit utilization. So that's why I think it's very important for us to understand our overall credit profile. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my credit profile and look at our payment history and our credit utilization. Now, for myself, you can see that it says my payment history is good. And what I like about the score ingredient, it gives a breakdown of, your individual, let's say, payment history. So it says for my payment history, I have 5 late payments over 30 days and 4 late payments over 60 days. So I wanted to put my credit score here so that we can see that even though I have the 5 late payments over 30 days and then 4 over 60, my credit score is still overall good at a 763. But the thing is, when these late payments happen, it really knocked my credit score down. And I believe the lowest that my credit score went to was maybe about a 680, somewhere off in there. But since it's been over 2 years that I've had those late payments on there, it really doesn't impact my credit score as much as time goes on. But the only thing is, it is going to stay on my credit report for 7 years. And so that's the only thing about late payments, is it definitely can impact you the most, because once the late payments are on your credit report, they're going to stay on there for 7 years. And it's going to really knock it down, since it's 35% of our credit score. So for me, I had co-signed on a loan and they had got behind on the payments. And so, we're in a better spot now, but you can see that it's still impacting my credit score, although it's been over 2 years that I have had a late payment on my credit profile. And so for me, that's why it's important that I take a look at the whole credit score, because since I can't really impact the late payments, since they really did happen, I make sure that all of the other aspects of my credit score is great, exceptional, so that it can make my credit score go up. So for me, in regards to my credit utilization, I like to use my credit cards for everything, but I'm always going to use my budget to make sure that I can pay my credit card off. So you can always check out in the description and go over to my Etsy shop if you're interested in my 2024 digital budget planner, or you can drop down in the description, and I do have a free budget and debt repayment if you are interested in it. But I think especially when it comes to credit cards. And, you know, I like to use my credit card like a debit card. But if I'm going to be using the credit card to get the points and the cash back and all that kind of stuff, I think it's important to pay the credit card off so that if we are getting the points, but then we're paying interest, then really it's not a perk because we're paying interest on the credit card. And, you know, there are credit cards out there that have 0% interest as well. But our credit utilization can really impact us. Additionally, when we take a look at the score ingredient, you know, for our credit utilization, it says that it's 30% of our score. So they usually say that we don't want to report more than 30% because the higher that we're showing utilization, then sometimes credit card companies can decrease our credit limits. They can close the card. Or let's say if you're trying to get more credit, then it's going to be hard to get more credit because we're showing such high utilization. Now, from experience, it states that if we want to be high achievers, that we really don't want to report more than 7% on our credit cards. And you'll have to go in the description and check out my credit utilization playlist, because this is what we've been talking about. And I love to play with my credit utilization to see how can, you know, is it going to help me increase my credit score? Or is it going to decrease my credit score depending on how much I show utilization? And a couple of videos ago, I had showed where I had reported, I want to say maybe like 11% on one credit card. But overall, my credit utilization, I think it was still like 2%. So you'll have to check out that video. And then last, it talks about, well, how many credit cards should we have a balance on when we're reporting to the credit bureau? And Experian is going to say no more than 3. But I'll tell y'all, sometimes I report 5 because I really try to make sure that I'm showing utilization on a couple of the credit cards since, you know, I have had some of my credit cards closed. So I like to show utilization, but just because I'm showing utilization, I don't like to pay interest on credit cards. So you'll have to let me know. Overall, I do think that it's important that we understand our credit score and our credit profile, but it is going to differ for each person, because just because I do have the late payments on my credit score, we can see that my credit score was still high. But then on the same hand, I do make sure that all the other aspects of my credit profile are good. So one, I make sure that I pay my credit cards off. And even though I'm reporting utilization, I'm not paying interest on those credit cards. And I have a very low utilization. And then, you know, I do apply for credit cards. So you can see that my credit inquiries was fair, because I'm going to make sure that I'm applying for credit cards. But then my length of credit is long. I have a really good length of credit. So let's say if I'm saying that I would close a credit card, for me, since I have over 15 years of credit history, that might not impact me. But let's say somebody that has 3 years or 1 year of length of credit, if they close a credit card, then it can really impact them. So that's why we should really understand our overall credit profile as it relates to us as individuals, because, you know, I can say close credit cards, but that might not work for you. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time. It's not a game.